So welcome back. This time around, I want to talk to you about what it means to be led by the Spirit. Stay tuned. So, to be led by the Spirit, as you'll see it written in biblical scriptures, means to be led with a capital S Spirit. Now, who you are is the lowercase spirit, and you'll also see that in the scriptures, so that you know if it's lowercase, it's talking about you. If it's not, it's talking about something bigger. So if you're the one that's being led, it's not your person, it's not your body, it's not your actions, it's you, the lowercase s spirit. So I want to share a scripture with you from Romans, and we're looking at Romans chapter 8 and verse 14. It says, "For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God." Let's look at another scripture in Proverbs. We're going to go over to Proverbs chapter 20, verse 27. "The spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly." I really like this scripture because there's a lot of insight that can be gained from it, looking at it from multiple angles. So let's talk about being led. Nobody's led without inspiration. To be inspired means that your creative juices are flowing. This is not coming from your own volition, but coming from something outside you, something more distant than your doership. This inspiration becomes distorted if it's given over to the part of your mind that would like to claim it before the inspiration actually matures. So the more that one comes in tune with the inspiration in the present moment and tunes in with it immediately, the less chance that any kind of corrupt conditioning from the worldly conditioned or the worldly oriented heart can be involved. A corrupt heart is a conditioned heart. A heart that has not been exposed to the light of simple, open awareness because of the habit of giving inspiration over to the mind instead of acting on it. Logic takes time, and inspiration is corrupted by turning it over to the mind that wants to make something out of it. Let the mind live in the aftermath of your following, and you will learn through direct experience what it means to be led by the Spirit. Now, false inspiration comes from what you conjure up in your mind. The real inspiration comes when you act on something new, something fresh. You will be following your false inspiration certainly until you learn to receive and embrace spontaneity. You cannot please God without spontaneity, without trusting in the unknown, leaving your conditioning aside. This is the meaning of faith. One who is thinking that inspiration is going to help the personal journey has not even started the journey of being led by the Spirit. Again, your person has everything to do with the self-concept in your mind and not what's looking at that self-concept, not the subjective spirit that you are. And we're talking about being led by the Spirit as who? Not as a person. Spirit gets led by spirit. Person gets led by ideas of person and all kinds of other conditioning in the world. The Spirit is beyond the world. It's where you are right now. Some of you just haven't realized it. Spirit and person are not the same. I'm going to talk about that deeper as we go through this teaching. So if you look back to that verse I just shared with you in Proverbs, it says that the spirit of a man is a candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. Inspiration is intuitive. It's felt in your guts. It's a totally different feeling than cherishing your ideas. It is instinctual and it's earlier than any desire. Preparation can be made to facilitate the inspiration that comes. And this is done by holding fast to the intuition that feels good, that's wholesome, and feels peaceful and passionate. It's a kind of repulsion toward conditioning that becomes a harmony when you embrace it. To follow your heart, you will encounter your inner darkness and where it leads. What makes the difference is whether or not you are spontaneous, whether or not you're holding expectations. If you bring expectation to your heart, it will only amplify your discomfort. You have to let go of expectation in order to embrace where you're being led. You'll start to see that true inspiration takes you away from conditioning, away from the unfulfillment that has been harbored in the conditioned heart. Start to leave your mind behind. What does it mean to leave your mind behind? It means that you don't embrace it so much. You don't engage the thoughts with a feeling of giving them importance and elevating them and thinking that they mean something. Taking a quick break from that, practicing taking a break from that, simply just letting the mind go. That helps you come back to your senses, your happening reality. Try watching your mind and the next expectation that comes up. Any kind of expectation, subtle, great, doesn't matter. See if you can notice it and just let it go. Don't give it any more importance. Just let it be there. Let it do what it's doing. Don't resist it. Don't cling to it or anything. Just see if you can notice it and remain detached. If you reach the point where you're able to do this, you'll be coming more in tune with the inspiration that's coming through your gut instincts, and less of what the mind is telling you in the context of shoulds and shouldn'ts. The earliness of this inspiration, the spontaneity of it, is in the domain of grace. Your mind is a distortion of that. Until you learn to embody and tune in with this spontaneity, your mind is still going to be lagging behind. And this is why the scriptures tell you not to lean on your mind, not to lean on your own understanding. There's something earlier, which is deeper, purer, and much more conducive to your evolution on the spiritual path than what your mind can offer. And remember, start from where you are, not from where your self-image wants to be. So head over to patreon.com if you haven't already. Show your support there by signing up, and I look forward to hearing more questions from you that help me share with you for your spiritual journey. Blessings.